Today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the SUB250 Oasisfly 30, and as the name suggests, it's a sub 250 gram little cinematic freestyle drone. So I've got around 20-25 flights on this now. So I'm going to show you my first test flight. We're going to do a little bit of a cinematic test with it, and then also we're going to see what it's like to just fly around for fun, rip it around, a bit of light freestyle. I'm going to see how this guy copes. Quick disclaimer before we get started, I actually reached out to SUB250 because I've been interested in these guys. I've seen them around, and I said I'd like to try out the Oasis 30, and they very kindly offered to send this guy out to me for free for review. I've not been paid in any way for this video. I can say whatever I like about it, and I'm going to. So let's get into this. Let's first start with a bit of an overview, what comes in the box and what to expect when you get one of these little guys. So when you get this guy and you open it up, it's actually really nicely packaged. Everything is secure. It's not gonna get damaged in transport. Now SUB250 sent me the Oasisfly 30 ELRS version without 04 Pro. So you'll see it comes, like I said, nicely packaged. There's a few accessories in there as well, like you get 2 sets of propellers, and a few of the bits and pieces, some extra 3D prints, the little cable that you need to adapt the flight controller to USB-C. There is no dedicated USB-C output on the, or USB-C port on the flight controller, so you do need an adapter. It's a little bit tricky to plug in because it's sort of in this corner here, but if you need to plug it in, I mean, I've had to plug it in a few times and it's fine, you can get it in there. So if we now take a bit of a closer look at the drone, you can see that pretty much everything on this is made by SUB250 themselves. We've got these lovely SUB250 1404 4500 kV motors, and they spin a 3-inch propeller. Oasisfly 30, it's a 3-inch quad. Now these are actually a pretty aggressive propeller. They look more similar to a propeller you would see on a Cinemup rather than a freestyle drone. So that should mean it has quite a lot of power for its size. And yeah, everything else looks pretty good. The frame looks really nicely put together. It looks more than durable enough to do what it's designed to do. We've got 3mm arms on here. Lovely CNC front camera cage to help protect that 04 Pro from impact. And I also really like what we see here. There's quite a few drones doing this at the moment, where you can see on the front camera cage here, there's 2 different options. So you can actually run 03 and 04 Pro in this, and actually even some other different cameras. They give you a few different 3D prints and also some silicone gummies that you can fit in here depending on what you want to use. I really like this style of camera cage. It just gives you a lot more flexibility. Now, one other thing that I really like about this drone is the blue. I love this shade of blue. Honestly, I'm a sucker for this shade of blue. Everything that you see plastic on here is 3D printed, but the 3D prints are actually pretty nice. I've had a couple of tumbles and crashes with this and nothing has broken so far, so I think they did a pretty good job there. And these side panels are removable just to give you nice easy access to the flight controller. And speaking of the flight controller, it actually looks really nice in there. When it comes to like quality control, all the solder joints look nice, nothing looks out of place, nothing looks kind of rogue. So yeah, that's all pretty good. The battery pad is one of these super sticky pads where you can you don't even need a strap really. But yeah, and I found that mounting the battery quite far forward, so it sort of sits around here, gives a really nice weight distribution. On a smaller quad like this, you don't really want to have the center of gravity too far off. So putting the battery a little bit further forward like that worked really well for me, give a nice balanced feeling, and allowed the tune to work, better than if the battery was sat all the way back here or something like that. So yeah, bear that in mind too. This quad is designed to run on a 4-cell battery. SUB250 actually recommend, and they have their own 4S720. I got a very similar pack, same 4S720, and it comes in at, like they say, less than 250 grams. I think on my scales it was 246, which actually left a little bit of extra wiggle room. And I put a few bits on there simulating fitting a GPS unit on this, and it stayed under 250 grams with that battery that I was using. So yeah, if you wanted to, you could add a GPS to this. It doesn't come with one as standard. I like to have a GPS on my drone, so that is probably something that I would like to add in the future. But yeah, let's drop my 04 Pro into this one in the past, but currently, and then we'll head out for the first test flight. Okay, this is going to be my very first flight of the Oasisfly 30. I literally got it set up last night and we're pretty much ready to go. So I've got a 720 milliamp 4S high volt pack on here. I'm excited to see what this thing actually flies like. So yeah, I probably said this already. I love the blue. I'm hoping it flies as good as it looks. Let's get it up in the air. Ready to go. Let's send him up. Gets into the air pretty light actually. Only about 25% throttle. Pretty good. I really want to see how good this receiver is, because it's a little ceramic antenna ELRS receiver. So I'm not sure how good it's going to be. And it doesn't look amazing off the bat. So this is going to be something you're going to want to fly more closer range. I think I'm just going to move myself forward a little bit just so I'm a bit out of this this thing here so I get some better reception. 1 second. Okay, let's have a look, see what the tune feels like. It feels fairly good off the bat, to be blatantly honest. Wow, this receiver really doesn't look so good. Okay, let's keep flying. Let's just see how it handles. See what the prop wash handling is like, give it a bit of a flick. A little bit of a shake, but overall pretty good. Oh, RX loss. Wow, this receiver maybe isn't all that good. So maybe after this, I might just change this over to use it with a DJI controller, so then I can just get the 04 doing my radio link. Yeah, I think to make things easy, I'll probably just use the DJI controller. Okay, let's keep going. I'm really not far away at all, but okay. I think I might just land and change my camera angle a bit because I would like a little bit more angle. Okay, I've moved outside of the metal tin in case that's giving me some issues. Yeah, it looks a little better. Oh, I'm getting RX losses though, literally before the end of this field. Okay, I think I'm going to try and swap this receiver over. Oh, the prop wash. The tune is actually pretty damn good. Okay, battery's pretty much done. Let's bring it back. Might have juiced this one a little bit too far actually, but 5.5 minutes roughly. Oh, she's upside down. But yeah, 5.5 minutes on that battery. Initial impressions, flies really nice. I don't think that the ELRS receiver with the little ceramic antenna is actually much good because this is not a big field and well, you could see the RX signal. It's pretty bad. So I'm going to change it to the DJI controller before I go and do any more flying in different places. I'll carry on flying here just to finish off these packs, but yeah, let's let's keep going. It's actually a really well balanced setup when it comes to like power versus weight and performance. Like, it's not ridiculously powerful that it's gonna like blow your socks off, but it's got plenty of power to play around, do some freestyling. I don't see any jello either, actually, to be honest. Let me just give a big old punch out. Nah, no jello at all. Absolutely rock solid image there. Oh my God, from the 04, but not so much from the radio link. We got a full RX loss there, but luckily it came back before it disarmed. Yeah. Yeah, I need to do something with this before I really can push this guy and feel a bit more confident with it, so. Just in case anyone was wondering if there was potentially an issue with my controller, I did actually verify this. I went to fly one of my other quads and my controller was performing completely fine. So it was just an issue with the little ELRS receiver in here. A little bit of a crash test. Let's go see. Okay, it all looks pretty good, no damage, so yeah, let's put him back up. Okay, and get inspired here by Mr. Rimsler. There's a chicken. Should we chase the chicken? Oh, it's running. Oh, dearie me. So this is what it feels like. I won't get too close to him. He's not my chicken. So as you can see from the first test flight, things aren't quite going to plan. Now, I was really struggling to have any confidence to try and fly this drone because just how bad that ELRS performance was. Now, it's kind of strange because normally those little ceramic antennaed ELRS units actually perform quite well. So I do personally think that I just got a bad one on this quad, but that does raise a couple of concerns. Maybe the QC isn't quite as good as it should have been. And with it being tucked away inside here, there's a lot of angles where the carbon is going to be sort of blocking the signal a bit, and it's probably getting overpowered a bit by the 04 Pro blasting out of here. So yeah, I decided to remove that ELRS unit and just run off the DJI 04A unit, and doing so was actually really quite simple. SUB250 on the website actually have the CLI dumps for each different model. So all I did was I just removed that ELRS receiver and change the cable, because they give you in the box a cable for your 04. They give you two different ones, so one with the S Bus and one without, so that's dead easy. So I plugged that in, reflashed it with the correct Betaflight version, and then just set it up, and then we're going to take it out again now to do some cinematic flying with the 04 Pro. Let's see how that goes. Okay, it's time to see what this little guy can do when it comes to cinematic flying. Now, last night I removed the LRS receiver and I've set it up so I can now use it with the DJI controller. So fingers crossed that's going to give me a bit better confidence and performance when it comes to going a little bit further away. And what better way to test cinematic abilities than a beautiful sunrise next to the rice fields here in Bali. So let's send this guy up, see what it can do. Okay, straight away the signal is miles better. So I'm running off the 04 Pro now. So obviously if I've got video, I have got radio and it looks absolutely beautiful. My confidence is restored. We'll push this guy out a little further this time and try and get some beautiful cinematic shots for you. Wow, just cruising over these empty rice paddies with just the water in it, it looks absolutely stunning. A little bit scary because there's no GPS rescue, but I'm pretty confident the signal should be fine. All the clips that you've seen here were color graded using my cinematic LUT. They were designed especially for D-Log-M drone footage, and I will leave them linked in the video description. I also get asked all the time where I get my music and sound effects from, and the answer to that is Artlist, and you can actually get 2 months extra for free if you sign up using my link in the description. As you can see from the flight footage, this is a super smooth little cinematic drone. You can definitely feel it's a lightweight drone, but it really holds its line a lot better than I was expecting it to. To be honest, I was expecting it to get blown around and to be nowhere near as stable as it was, but it really held its line well and allowed me to get some really nice cinematic shots. It does definitely help that this morning was very, very calm. There was basically no wind, and on a windier day, I'm not sure if it would do as well as it did, obviously being so light, but on the conditions that I tested it in, I was actually really quite impressed, especially now having a bit more confidence in it when using that 04 Pro as my radio link too. There were a couple of occasions during this cinematic flying where I would have liked to have a little bit more camera angle on this. But you can put it to around about 20 degrees, which is kind of adequate for most situations. But on a lighter drone like this, I do think it helps to have a little bit more camera angle just so you can push it a bit more and get a bit more momentum behind it. In this setting, it was actually completely fine most of the time. There were only a couple of times that I just wish I had a little bit more on it. But yeah, maybe that's a modification you could do. You could probably just elongate these grooves a bit to give yourself a little bit more. Maybe it's something that SUB250 could do, make a little modification to this. In reality, it's a really nicely well-balanced drone and I could put it exactly where I wanted to. It would just be nice to have a little bit more angle on that camera. This is a very capable little cinematic drone and it actually inspires a lot of confidence to flying places where you normally wouldn't. And also because it's SUB250, you can actually fly it in more places than you can a larger drone. It's just so easy to like get it out of the bag and fly it around. It's so quiet once you've flown it a little bit away. It's one of the biggest selling points, the fact it's so light. You can just chuck it in a regular backpack with a controller and goggles and you don't really notice it's there. With other bigger drones, you have to get your big backpack out like I've been doing. This is another reason why I've been enjoying flying my smaller drones, because I can just throw them into my regular backpack and just go and have some fun. Okay, that was miles better than yesterday. Now it's running off that 04 Pro. The signal was just night and day. And because of that, I had the confidence to push it out a little bit further and just do a few more things with it. And when it comes to cinematic stuff, a little guy like this, considering it's SUB250, flies incredibly well. It's tracking beautifully. The only thing I would say, I feel like I lack a little bit of speed, but it's only a little 4S 3-inch, not a whoop, a little 4S 3-inch guy. But yeah, for sort of low, medium speed cinematic stuff, it's doing a really good job. So I'm going to move to another spot now where we're going to push it a little bit harder and see what it's like to just have a real good fun with it, rip it around, a little bit of racing freestyle type of flying. I'm not a racer, I'm not a hardcore freestyle guy, but I'm just going to put it through its paces and see what it's like when you want to just, you know, give it some beans. Okay, so now we're just going to do a bit of a rip around with this thing, just going to fly for fun, try and throw a little bit of light freestyle in there, and then I also kind of have a bit of a racetrack that I do in amongst the trees, so we'll give it a rip around that. Now, something I have noticed, the throttle does feel a little bit muted, and I think that's because in the tune there is a V battery compensation, which basically what it does is it makes the throttle feel more consistent throughout the whole battery pack, but then it takes away that feeling of that, you know, that fresh new battery feeling where you got all that punch. So I duplicated the tune on a second profile and I took the V-BAT compensation off. So I'll fly it the first time with the stock tune and then afterwards I'll fly it with a slight modification I made. We'll see what the difference is. Let's get up. Actually, to be honest, I'm not noticing the camera angle is as limiting when just playing around like this. It still would be nice to have a bit more, but it's okay. It's actually really good fun to fling it around. This is the kind of flying that I really do enjoy, just ripping around the trees, making a bit of a course, having some fun with a really light drone. Ha ha ha! It's a little bit green in places, but it's all good. Doesn't seem like it's getting pushed around too much by the wind either, to be honest. There is a little bit of wind going on here, but I'm not used to flying with this controller, like this style. This is one of the things I mean about the VBAT. Like, I haven't noticed the battery is getting low, but it is getting low. So I'm gonna bring it back. We'll try the other PID profile, see if it's any better. Okay, now we're going with the slight changes to the PIDs. Let's see. Ooh, yeah. Throttle feels a lot more natural straight away. Okay, yeah, this throttle feels way more natural without the V battery sag compensation on.
Whoa.
Nice big power loop, no problem at all. Changed my rates ever so slightly. Yeah, it flies good. It's a hell of a lot more fun now than it was the first time I flew it with the stock ELRS receiver, which had like 20 meters of range. But now, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it is windy, and this is holding up surprisingly well for a little drone and a light drone. Yeah, prop wash handling is really good. Wow, I'm really starting to feel this thing now. It's so much fun to just flicker around in the trees. Wow, yeah, definitely take off the V battery sag compensation. Might be good for cinematic to get a consistent feel, but for having fun, this just feels a whole lot more like what I'm used to. Beautiful. Wow, I'm actually really impressed. It's obviously hurt the battery life a little bit because I've been bending the throttle stick throughout this flight. So we're at 3 minutes now on that same 720. Could probably squeeze a bit more out of it. Let's keep going. Came ready to run another pack. I'm feeling like I'm getting much more comfortable with this thing, throwing it around here. And it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, so let's do it again. Again, I'm on that same slightly modified tune that I just flew. Somewhere in the field here, we'll see Ivan. Here he is. He's unfortunately just crashed his 5-inch and he's looking for the air tag, which has fallen off. So yeah, let's hope he finds that, but let's carry on and do something else. Yeah, I just love that fresh battery throttle feeling. Let's give it a rip. Now, if I can try and remember my race course part of it, there are people sat having a picnic under, so we'll have to slightly modify it today. This thing is actually normally quiet when you're just doing regular flights. Really quiet, actually. When you're ripping it around like this, it makes a bit more noise. But the noise lets you know that they're having fun, hey? Big, slow over the top there. Okay, let's have a bit of a race around. This is where I would like a bit more camera angle, but we'll do what we got. Yeah. The wind is picking up a lot. To be honest, I'm not actually really feeling the wind, which is really surprising. I really thought I would feel the wind a lot more on a lightweight drone like this. But I guess that's testament to the tune. It's locked in. Do love a nice little split S over those trees. Okay, let's rip. This little drone was an absolute blast just to rip around and have a good bit of fun with. I definitely preferred the tune without the V battery sag compensation on. It just felt way more lively. The throttle felt much more natural as well on the stick, and it was just a lot more fun to fly. It did feel a little bit weird to be ripping around with the DJI controller because I was so used to my Radio Master controller, but even still, I had a lot of fun with this guy, and yeah, it definitely ticks the fun box when it comes to just going out and having a good time. Okay, so you've now seen a good bulk of my flight testing on this guy. So we're going to go over the good points, the bad points, and who this drone is actually for. I think I've just been bitten on my head by a mosquito. Anyway, so good points. First of all, the weight. Sub 250. You can fly this in a lot more places. Smaller drones are just going to become more friendly to own in the future. I mean, restrictions are always getting more and more strict. So the fact that it is lightweight and you can still get like 5 minutes of flight time on with the Sub 250 setup, really nice. Next thing positive is the durability. It's been completely fine through a few of my crashes. A couple of them were quite hard, and I think some of that comes down to it being lightweight. I do think if you crash this hard enough, obviously you're going to break it, but for the, you know, like bumps and scrapes that you have when you're messing around, it's been completely fine. Next positive, it's really, really nice for that low to medium speed cinematic flying. What I mean by that is the category that isn't needing to be a Cinewub. Next positive, flying for fun, just ripping it around. It's an absolute blast to have a good fly with. I would definitely recommend removing the VBAT compensation in the tune if you're feeling the throttle feels a bit weird and you just want, you know, that full power when you have the full battery. I love that feeling. So if you're missing that, try turning that off. But yeah, it's a blast to just rip around for fun. Super capable little drone. I'm not the best freestyle pilot in the world. I'm nowhere near the best freestyle pilot in the world. But even I could do a little bit of fun and have some fun with it. So now let's take a look at some of the bad points. Now the first one, obviously that ELRS receiver that I had was absolutely terrible. I do genuinely think I just got a bad one. An ELRS receiver like that should not perform as badly as that one did. Mine probably had a damaged antenna, but like I said, that could be a bit of a QC issue. Sub 250, it is nice to see that they're making all their own stuff, but that receiver for me just wasn't good. I've looked at other people's reviews, they seem to have had much better performance out of theirs. So I think mine was just bad. But yeah, so the next bad thing is, like I said, the camera angle. I would like to have a little bit more camera angle than that. You can still have a lot of fun with it as it is, but personally, I would like another 10 degrees. I think if I had another 10 degrees of the camera, it would be much more fun to fly. But all in all, apart from that very first day of testing, I have thoroughly enjoyed flying this little Oasisfly 30. For such a lightweight drone, it flies incredibly well. The tune's good, it holds its line. I think if you buy this, you're definitely not going to be disappointed. I'm not sure if I can recommend you pick up the ELRS version just because of my experience with it. They do actually have mounts on the back, so you could run a different ELRS receiver if you wanted. You could probably put something like an RP1 in there, but yeah, if not, just get the DJI version or the TBS version. Other ELRS quads might be okay, like mine just might have been a bad receiver, but yeah, that's going to be my recommendation. I can recommend it. I will give it my seal of approval. Had a lot of fun flying it, and I'm pretty sure if you get it, you'll have a lot of fun too. Unfortunately, I didn't get to test this guy in high winds. I would have liked to see how it coped, but it's just been really calm around here recently, and that is probably going to be where a drone like this starts to struggle, but I just haven't had the chance to test it, so I'm sorry about that. Sub 250 also sent me the frame for the Oasis 25, so I'll get that built up, and you can look forward to that in a different video. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, then you're also going to enjoy this one right here. If that one doesn't speak to you, then go and check out this one instead. Leave a like, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Whoop.